Ladies and gents, welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Right about now, remember to like, subscribe to this channel, of course hit the bell notification so that you can be notified when we drop new content, and always, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about the subjects in these videos. Give us your thoughts, have a conversation. And so without further ado, let's get into it. Just going to speak to you about the newest signing for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. So Eddie Hearn, just moments ago, the press conference just finished, and it was a bit of a sort of quote unquote secret, but Campbell Hatton has now officially signed with Matchroom Boxing, and he's now officially Eddie Hearn fighter. I believe his dad, Ricky Hatton, so he's the son of Ricky Hatton, another famous son. And so Ricky Hatton, I believe, is going to be sort of managing him. And I believe his uncle, Ricky Hatton's brother, Matthew Hatton, is doing the training. And there's a bit of footage online of Campbell Hatton. I just recently saw some ABA sort of elite boxing of him earlier on in this year, beginning of this year, I think it was, ABA elites, and he looks to be quite a decent prospect. Still not quite the finished article, but he looks to be quite a decent sort of fighter. In the amateurs, he was saying in his interview in this press conference that he had sort of walked into boxing gym at the age of about 14. He said that's when he sort of started, kind of experimenting with it, sort of trying to try boxing out for a bit. And he said from that moment, according to what he said, he fell in love with the sport, and he just continued ever since. He's now 19 years old, and it's quite something. It's quite surreal even to look at him, because you look at him, he's the stamp, he's the spitting image of his dad. He just looks so much like Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton even made a joke in a press conference about, he's not the milkman's, he's clearly my son, it don't look like no one else. And it really is interesting, it's nostalgic, because I can remember Ricky Hatton's career. I got to watch him live long time ago, and yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the look, it just looks exactly the same as his dad. He's got kind of the same, mannerisms and everything like his dad, and you can just see that DNA there, that Hatton DNA in this kid, which rightly so, and it's gonna be interesting, because again, he's I suppose he's now along a line of famous sons like Chris Eubank Jr. He worked with Eddie Hearn. He's gone on to achieve decent stuff, become sort of, he's up there sort of around world level now. You got Conor Benn, son of Nigel Benn, who's sort of the fringes now, I guess, British European level, something like that. Maybe on the fringes of even world level. But yeah, right. So Campbell Hatton now, he said that his goal is he wants to become a world champion, and he said ultimately he wants people to recognize him as his own fighter. He doesn't want people to just think of him as, oh, that's Ricky Hatton's lad, or that's Ricky Hatton's boy or son or whatever. He said that people should just follow his progress, and if they follow his progress, it's going to be an exciting journey. And he believes that they're going to eventually start saying, right, they're not going to say he's his dad's son, but they're going to be saying, right, this is Campbell Hatton, this is different, this is Campbell Hatton's a fighter, and a good fighter in his own right, and he wants to eventually sort of step out of his dad's shadow. Ricky was saying that he's going to be involved in every aspect of Campbell Hatton's career, but he also said that He's not going to be sort of overbearing and sort of taking over everything, but he's going to be involved, and he's letting his brother Matthews Hatton sort of do a lot in his career. So he's got a good family around him, Campbell Hatton, and again, I would say he's a fighter that's got potential. He didn't do anything amazing as an amateur. I think I don't know, I guess he's boxed for about 5 years as an amateur, 4 or 5 years. So it's not really a long time. He boxed at a decent level, and there's no much like there's Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. There wasn't that international experience, so that's one thing that many would sort of argue that he lacks. He didn't have international experience as an amateur, didn't box for England or anything like that. So yeah, it's still a bit of an unknown quantity. He didn't go to the Europeans, the Worlds, the Commonwealth or anything like that, like what I think his dad did, So yeah, that's always a bit of a, that makes it quite interesting, because it's a bit of an unknown. I mean, me personally, when I think about boxing, boxers who want to turn pro, I would always say that the best route is the tried and tested route is you do everything you can as an amateur, try to get to the top, try to get to box internationally for your country, and then once you've done that, once you've got good experience at that level, then you turn pro. That's sort of the conventional route. But this guy, he's taking a different route. Again, it's an interesting one, because he's so young. He's still like 19 years old. So it's interesting. I would have thought perhaps they might have advised him, stay amateur. Wait till you're 21 or something. No, you're not wanting for money or anything like that. But I guess he has this desire to turn pro, and I guess what they're going to do with him, according to Hearn, is just take it nice and slowly. Give him, Eddie Hearn was saying, give him 7-8 fights in his first season, take him all around the country, fighting different people, and get him some experience, some fights that, not the most difficult of fights. Don't throw him in the deep end. Get him some learning fights, and, just take him around, sort of give him a little tour around the country. And, I suppose one thing he's got going for him is that, although, yes, he doesn't have the international amateur experience, I mean, compared to, let's say, Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, he's had more experience than those guys. He's sort of boxed at a high level as an amateur, sort of nationally, than those guys did. So if they've got a chance, you've got to say Campbell Hatton has a chance. I know there's definitely, when you're the son of a famous father, famous fighter, kind of a legendary name in British boxing, a guy that name rang bells and won world championships and sold out arenas and everything, and drunk Las Vegas dry. And I remember when they booed, and his fans booed the national anthem when he fought Mayweather. They booed Tyrese and all that, the singer. So he's got big shoes to fill. But again, he's for me, he's got the right attitude, because he's like, no, I'm gonna fill my own shoes. I'm gonna be a fighter in my own right. I think there will be criticism of him, because people are gonna say, well, yeah, you're just the son, you didn't really do anything, in boxing, you're just doing it because your dad did it. And there's going to be a lot of naysayers and doubters. I mean, for me personally, I think, the jury's out. It's one of those things that, we won't know until we see him fight first, and then, we won't know until he gets to sort of title level, or until he gets into a hard fight. I think that's when we're going to know whether this kid has got the goods or not. But as of right now, I'd say he's got as much potential as, as much chance as most of us. And yeah, I look forward to seeing the journey. So that's just my thoughts on it. Bit of breaking news there. Ricky Hatton's son, Campbell Hatton, signs with Matchroom Boxing. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.